Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku Had Red Magic? Mixture of bravery and patience. Why? Because I'm bored. And I couldn't find anything on YouTube to watch. So anyway, besides that, Deku, due to both emotions not really able to create their own emotion, bravery and patience, which don't really go together, depending if you can find a word for it, Deku would have technically like a cross-soul, like Cross Chara, for example. So half patience and half bravery. Yeah. Anyways, let's begin. Enough awkwardness. As the beginning of Deku's life, Deku, instead of having green hair like his mother, he would have a tan white hair. And some fearsome eyes. You know what, no. I'll have him gain that after he unlocks the ability to. As Izuku Midoriya at the age, he was very, as you could say, brave and patient. For one, it would explain the reason why he's always getting, stopping people from getting bullied by Bakugo and standing in front of Bakugo's explosions. Two, his patience is for anything really. He's very patient. Any type of assignment that takes too long, or if you have to watch a long, boring movie, he has patience for it. Or if you're like Dobby and you want to wait until like somewhere near the end of the series to do something evil and be patient for it, he can. Yeah, a very specific way, but I mean, it is what it is. Deku, he would only gain these traits from his personality. He wouldn't have he would still have, think of a Kirishima-esque personality, and then put that Kirishima personality into Midoriya. So, he's very brave, and, even though he doesn't have, hardening quirk, he still, he runs headfirst into danger. And it doesn't matter how long or how strong he has to be at that time. He would wait to become stronger to face an opponent. If he knows he can't defeat you, he would wait a very long time until he knows for certain he can beat you. Anyways, that's just like examples. As we go to Midoriya, Bakugo would still have the same treatment for him. It doesn't matter what you say. The only difference is that Midoriya is very not chillaxed, but as I said, Kirishima. So he's very manly and whatnot in all those scenarios. So yeah, he's just like Kirishima's personality, realistically. At least for now. As a time would come, and practically what would happen is, when Bakugo says those words to Deku in class, that everyone somehow magically forgets about in the beginning of the damn anime, even though but yet when Todoroki's father does it, Endeavor, no one wants to flippin' up, like, bruh, just. Yes, Bakugo's a child. He still has to be retained for his actions and have consequences. Like Endeavor. But Endeavor actually, he actually changes. Unlike Bakugo. Bakugo, if it wasn't for everyone else, he would still, bully Deku. And I'm pretty sure if it wasn't for everyone being nice, Midori would have died. Either by suicide or some other attempt of Bakugo trying to bully Deku. It's facts. I don't know what you want me to talk about. Like, bruh. Like, the only reason Bakugo isn't bullying Deku right now is because there's people like Aizawa and All Might who don't mess with him. Or who don't fuck with him like that. They put him in his place. Real quick. Besides, if it wasn't for them, he would have killed Deku. Straight up. Taken a couple years. Yeah, it would have taken a couple years, but he would have died by the age of, like, what? Like, 18 from depression? Like, bruh, get out of here. I like Bakugo as a character, but at the same time, don't like his personality. It's kind of like a 50-50 with it, honestly. Anyways, it's not Bakugo, but it's about Midoriya. At the age of about 15. Due to the recent bullying from Bakugo, Midoriya, even though he is who he is, and, is very happy for, he means he can, teach, things to others, like, even a quirkless person can become a hero. Which, it's practically his entire motive. He doesn't really care about having a quirk or not, honestly. He only cares of proving people wrong and that any person with a quirk can become a hero. And wants to be number one as well. Of course, though, even Kirishima has his moments, meaning that Midoriya does too. At that time, Midoriya has been going on for years at this point. And due to Midoriya being a lot more braver, he would be bullied a lot more by Bakugo. With his explosions. Slight increase in Bakugo's, strength, but I mean, Meaning that Bakugo would always be coming home with burn marks, or some type of scorch marks. Or sometimes with fire or explosions on his skin. So, yeah. Eventually, Midoriya would get tired of it, and would eventually take his advice. Midoriya would fall a great height. Unlike normal things, he wouldn't be falling from the school. He'd be going to the tallest building in Japan and falling off that building. As everyone sees someone, as All Might, and I'll say, why not? I'll say Bakugo's there. As they all see the boy fall and splat. Surprisingly, not everywhere, but I mean, he's kind of, the blood's more in like a single area. Not very far away from the body, surprisingly, even though. Yeah. I say the only reason he actually survived is because he has plot convenience. Or just because what I'm about to do to him is going to mess him up a lot. So, Midoriya, he would be on his deathbed right there. In a matter of seconds, the light he sees flashing in and out. As Bakugo screams, Deku! Grabbing Midoriya in his hands. I guess you were right, Bakugo. Coughing up very much blood, a lot of blood. I guess you're right, like you always are. As Midoriya's hand will fall out of Bakugo's. Bakugo feeling broken. Even though he didn't care about Deku, he still felt some type of relations, a friendship within him. Even if it's, just once in a while. With a giant yell out, Bakugo would yell for Deku's name. Instead of calling him Deku for the first time, he would call him Midoriya, yelling it out. No, why? Why am I such a bad person? It calls my best friend to go. Yes, I am changing Bakugo's personality a bit. Unlike other what ifs. Just a quite a bit. Just I'm gonna change it dramatically, but it doesn't matter. Bakugo's still gonna be Bakugo, but you know, he ain't gonna be a bully. That's the only difference. He's just gonna be very angry at himself instead of, you know, yeah. As Inko would see her boy, as you know, he's in the hospital on life support right now, and yeah, he only got like about a day to live. So, you know, Inko, Mitsuki, Bakugo's dad, I'll say Hisashi. Why not? Everyone was surprised when, you know, Hisashi came because, you know, he wasn't there for shit. But I mean, yeah. Yeah. Anyways, the thing that would happen is everyone would be crying against Deku, except for Hisashi, because I mean, bring it out. He went to go get some milk and never came back, and now his son's dead. He was like, oh, boo hoo, he's dead. So can I get the money now? Like, bro, that's practically Hisashi. As with the last glance, Midoriya would see his father for the very first time. And then die. As everyone would leave Katsuki in the room alone with Deku, as he says his final words. I'm sorry. Midoriya, I'm sorry. As, you know, he would leave, you know, the notebook next to Deku, I believe, what was it, 13? You know, it would still be torched, because, you know, it still did happen. It's a little wet. It's a little wet and burnt, but I got out the pond, or the fountain for you, Midoriya. Goodbye, old friend. As Katsuki would leave the room, as with the same instance, we go to the mindscape. Midoriya was listening to all of this, by the way. With his final seconds of living inside of his mindscape, he would see the memories flash back to him, and the images and whatnot. It's okay, Bakugo. I forgive you. As now, we go to what's gonna happen now. As two things appear besides Deku's bed, hospital bed. Orange Soul, I believe Bravery was, and Patience, which is... Oh, give me like 30 seconds. Okay, I have it all the way in my phone. It was like all the way here. Okay, Bravery is the color. I was correct, yeah. One Orange Soul appears next to Deku, and one Blue Soul. One on each side of Deku. These souls will start to spin like a tornado-ish fashion. And eventually, you know, kind of joint together. After this would happen, Midoriya's body would start to float in the air. As changes to Deku's body structure, would occur. His hair would turn a bleach blonde, a blonde bleach-like color. One eye, or the showing eye, would be a reddish, orangish, while the other eye is blue, light blue. Deku's skin will also become a little pale blonde as well. the color would be a little bit of color would be leaving Deku's skin. And the injuries that Deku occurred, bones start snapping back in place. Bones, going back in place, joints going back in place, blood that's on his body will start going back inside of his body. Kind of like a regeneration-ish way, like a Wolverine-ish. How, you just see all of it go back to him. So, yeah. Or like a reversing time. So, yeah. Bones cracking, joints reconnecting. Midoriya's eyes would turn white, or more of a blinding light color, as it would be like a flashlight, a scream. As I'll say, why not? I'll say, no one's near Midoriya, because I'll say, the nurses are, getting the stuff for him to be put in, the dead place. So yes. As he's screaming out right now. As what would happen is the soul in the tornado-like fashion would smash into Deku, as Deku would be smashed onto the hospital bed. Where am I? Who am I? Where am I? Midoriya being confused. Having similarities between his old face and the face he has now. Midoriya would be confused, unknowing of what his memories were once. His memories are no longer in his brain, you would say. When I meant recreating or, forming back, it did mean, his brain did have to, evolve. Meaning that, he had to take out some things here and there. He does remember his past, but it's more of a blur. Every time he sees Bakugo, Inko, Hisashi, or anyone's face, it's kind of like a blur. Any people in his memories are just kind of blurred out, like a photo. So, yeah. Any type of, facial recognition is kind of, blurred out from his memories. Who am I? What am I? As the doctors would appear. As they'll start screaming. As And that's when, Deku, for reasons, I'll say, there was, a pool of blood, but more if it was a, dry blood. Like a giant puddle where he was. As, by the time they scream, Deku's gone. No one saw, what happened. All they saw was, puddle of blood and the broken window. As we go to a couple seconds in the past, Midoriya practically got up. As soon as he saw, doctors going to his location, he kind of breaking the window like fashion. So, yeah. And, kind of zooming off. And I'll say a bit of the wall was broken as well due to, the amount of impact he jumped. Because he kind of jumped into, like, a ninja-esque fashion out of, breaking the window. And at the same time, kind of breaking that and, making a giant hole in the wall, practically. So, yeah. Midoriya wouldn't understand what's happening. He would be conflicted, as he wouldn't remember anything, honestly. The only thing he would remember would be the notebooks. Or the, quirks. Because I'll say, the book was destroyed. Not fully destroyed, but, more destroyed than it already was when Deku kind of jumped. He did look through it, but, he kind of only looked at the quirk portion part and then kind of jumped. Having all this information, Midoriya would continue and research the quirks. Deku would realize that a lot of quirks can be countered. most of them can be countered. Those like sludge villains or like things that are liquid, like quirks, would be not very easy to be, detained. After that, what would happen? Midoriya would get this headache-like feeling as memories start to disappear from his mind. His memories will start to lose themselves. And unlike other what-ifs, he wouldn't be, regaining his memories anytime soon, nor in the way you think. Unlike, my what-ifs, animes usually, they give flashbacks on, who you were. But for my what-if, I'm doing it so the only way, he can't really remember it, more of the lines, kind of believe people of what he was. So, the only thing he can claim that is correct are pictures or proof that, it happened. No memories will just pop up in his head. He will just, kind of, okay, got this information. That's all. They wouldn't really be memories to Midoriya. They'll more be just images and whatnot of, like, he can guess what might have happened in his past. As his memories would start to fade away, and at the same time, there was a little child walking. Running, even, you can say. As this child would touch Midoriya directly. Causing a shockwave-ish. As soon as, Ares' quirk activated on Deku, what would have happened is that the souls would try to protect themselves, including Deku himself, and kind of make a force field-ish. Not force field, but kind of like a bounce back. So Ares, or this child, Ares, would start flying the other direction. The direction she was running from, she would start flying in that direction due to the impact. Knocking out a couple people. Huh? And, Deku's just kind of, he's kind of still brain dead. Because, he was, kind of brought back to life. So, yeah. He kind of is a little bit brain dead. So, kind of like a Kaguya-ish. Huh? What just happened? As he would walk to Eri, or unconscious Eri, if you will. These look like bad guys. I should help you. As you proceed to pick up Eri and kind of move along, Chisaki would appear and kill the 3 guards that were supposed to be guarding Eri due to frustration. As this would appear to be a bit, how would you say, interesting. Midoriya, he would feel sympathy, somewhat, for this child. As I'll say, Eri did get some broken bones, from, the shockwave that appeared. Deku would be, lifting up his hand, and, red, or not red, orange and blue magic will start to appear. It'll be a very slow process of healing. He'll be able to heal any injury, it just will take a very, very long time. So kind of like a better version of Recovery Girl, but not at the same time. So it's a very good healing, but it just takes a very long time to, process. As Deku, one by one, will start healing Eri's bones and injuries and cuts on her arms. There we go. That will be good enough. As Deku himself, he would, some parts of him are, still healing. He still does have, scratches, wounds, stuff on him. and he'll start healing the damage. But the damage, it will be it will just increase the human's body healing factor by like 3 times. So decent. Still take a couple days, but it'll be a lot more faster than no healing. As for now, he puts bandages over his head or mouth, the places where need to be closed to help heal it. I wonder, what has this world to offer me? It seems unique and interesting. What may be fun? Yes. Let's play a game. As Midoriya, while Eri's still recovering, Deku would be out and just watching people, snatching some, clothes and whatnot. He would get, full white clothes or just, clothes to blend in. As, he would realize that a lot of these things don't have, a lot of mobility. They won't have him able to move a lot very fast. So he kind of, like Aizawa, Deku has the, bandage instead of scarf, and, would have something similar to Vigilante Deku's, neck thing, like Gran Torino's thing. So that are practically kind of like a cape, or like a body cape practically. And then under the body cape will be like, I'll say like maybe like a brownish, tannish shirt, and then he has like some type of shorts or something, or like maybe about shorts. I guess he wouldn't have any shoes. But he would get a lot of medical supplies. Because remember, still injured. His process of healing is very slow. And due to, the magical properties of his body, a lot of blood is kind of impulsing out of his body, which get, the bandages dirty. While the, magic is trying to heal him, blood is kind of, being forced out of his body. Trying to close the wounds, or trying to get the white blood cells as fast as possible, like as many white blood cells to scratches or open wounds as possible, which ends up blood gushing out. Having Deku look and kind of steal medical supplies. As what would happen now is Deku would be going back. This should be good enough. Let's see if the girl is awake. Walking back to his apartment or kind of abandoned building complex, he would walk and see that Eri hasn't yet woken up. And in a couple of minutes, Eri does wake up, a little terrified from running away from Chisaki, as Deku would be, I'll say, sleeping on a chair next to Eri. As she would be scared, and then, Deku would open his eyes. Or not eyes, but in like not in like a intimidating way, where his eyes would kind of like, his pupils, every time Deku closes his eyes, Deku's pupils shrink to absorb or to take away as much light as possible. As, when Deku opens his eyes, his, practically becomes what it is. His eyes, or the fashion or style of his eyes shrink and then, increase as, they open. For Deku to kind of see things a lot more faster than normal people. Yeah. And he just says in the most calmest way possible. Well, you're awake. That's interesting. So,
Are you hurt by any chance? Who are you? Don't worry. I'm no threat. If I was, I would have already killed you by now. Besides that, who are those people attacking you or chasing after you?
As Eri would explain the Yakuza and all that.
What about these quirks, you would say?
As Eri is like kind of in this, I guess, 10-month time span is teaching Deku the basis of quirks. Because, like, Eri does know a bit about quirks and, other things like that, history. She'll kind of be teaching Deku a little. She'll be teaching Deku, the fundamentals of, history, quirks, what type of quirks there are, and all this other stuff.
So abilities that can be used by the human body. And I got it. I think I have the... I'm pretty sure I have the aspects down. Now, what's next?
As Eri, you'll be kind of... What was it? I can't remember. There's an anime I watched where this girl had, like, no emotion in her voice with, like, Isaac. Can't remember what the name of the anime was. Anyways, yeah, Deku's kind of, like, emotionless right now. He kind of says everything calmly, and, he is brave. He doesn't really have fear, so he's kind of like... Eri at... Deku just walking across a street that was, full of cars, as, cars were missing him. Eri had to, pull him out of, a truck about to hit him. Using, I guess, his bandages that are long. He just, she kind of, snatched the bandages and, kind of yanked Deku in her direction. Are you crazy? You're gonna get hurt.
I do not fear pain. Pain has nothing to me. For I myself have felt pain before. I no longer feel it, as I once were before. Pain's nothing but an insect to me.
Kind of tripping out Eri a little bit with all this big word talk, but she just thinks of it as, him being smart, I guess. Eri does, get new clothes. And meaning that this would appear to be... Eri would, Deku, being the smart person he is, he would change Eri's look a little bit. Not the way she physically looks, but, she'll change hairstyles, change clothing, and, maybe give her some contacts to wear. So she looks a bit different. The only way you're actually able to tell is by her, face. And, that's practically all. And the way she acts, maybe. In this time span, Eri kind of sees Deku, or I should really give him a new name, shouldn't I? What should I name this reborn Deku? I'll call him Snake. Why not? Bing, 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 Snake. So, she will be talking to Snake. And, her personality would be of a normal child at this point. Because, Deku would show her a normal childhood. As much as emotionless or he's not emotionless, it's just he doesn't fear anything. Due to the amount of bravery he has. He feels, he does feel sadness, anger, love, affection. He does feel all those emotions, just he doesn't feel fear. That's like the only thing that he doesn't really have in his, it's non-existent with the Deku. Meaning that, he can be cutting his, he wouldn't be careful cutting, something to eat, practically. He'll still feel it, but, he wouldn't scare it. He wouldn't be scared of it, nor fear pain. Eri, by now, she would be able to smile due to the lack of emotion, or she'll be trying to have Deku smile. But just Deku's,
I mean, yes, he he's not emotionless. He just shows a lack of emotion, you would say. So instead of Deku trying to make Eri smile, Eri will try to make Deku smile. They'll get along like a brother sister-esque fashion. As Midoriya would, grow close to her like a big brother. Smiling like a weak smile, but a sincere smile. So, do you want any apples? Apples, apples, yes. And she would smile. She has a lot of fun with Snake. Snake makes her feel safe and happy. It's kind of like the reverse opposite. She feels scared for Deku or Snake due to Snake not fearing anything, which is kind of bad. At least at her eyes. She had to save Deku twice now, one from a car and the second one from a truck. So yeah. I mean, it wouldn't have hit him, but I mean, it was very close to. As now, it goes to the time where their, injuries have healed. Night Eye, overhaul. Night Eye would, get the information that Eri, the child, has, left, Overhaul's custody. And, now the now the Yakuza are looking for, not Snake in particular, but Eri. They do believe, Eri is with someone right now, but they don't know who. Same with Night Eye. Because I'll say it's kind of like that luck thing where you can be right there and then kind of miss them. Like right at that last second, you can go to that location and you just miss them just by that 1 second. Kind of like as soon as you get there, it's already too late. Like as soon as you get there. So the amount of luck that Midoriya has or Snake has is just unbelievable when it comes to not being caught by like just Chisaki's group, Yakuza, or any type of Night Eye heroes practically. So yeah. Until one day, they're walking the streets at night or in the alleyway. Now I'll say they're in like the downtown part, if you know what I mean. So they're it's nighttime. They're just walking across like a park or street or something. These thugs come up. What's a good way? I'll say they're trying to like rob them, even though they exactly have like nothing. Just random thugs, stupid thugs. I mean, yeah. Eri's scared. He's like, Snake, what are we gonna do? With the most calmest expression, the amount of bloodlust released from Midoriya's body, just yeah, they're in comas. They're in comas from how much bloodlust this man just let off. It was just 1 second. Not Eri didn't feel it because she's always with Deku, but as soon as that bloodlust was released, someone felt it. And I'll say the closest person to like the park, like his bloodlust covered the entire park, and it's pretty decently big park. Or it is a small park. Yeah, I'll say it's just like a small park. And that was just only like a fraction. They're having seizures and how much bloodlust Deku had. Cause remember he was using some of his bloodlust, kind of compacting it so other people who don't feel it. So it was even more, potent. So yeah, I'll say Aizawa sees this, because I'll say Aizawa's, I'll say it's like, in the middle of like the city, a little park in the middle of the city. Which, Aizawa's there seeing this, he's like, he felt this, he felt a hint of like just death. Like there's no killing intent, it was just death. Like he just felt death, like lights flashed before his eyes. Because when I mean Deku don't play, if you mess with his little sister Eri, he will make sure there is no of you to be remembered. How, you would say? Well, easy. Wait, what weapon should I give him? Interesting. A scythe's taken by Betty. Can't give him a knife. A knife is taken by Cross Chara. What shall I give him? I should give him something unique, shouldn't I? Claws or no? Think fast. Perfect idea. Deku doesn't know this, but what he does to activate this bloodlust is that his hands and feet are covered in this red magical aura that, when used is unbreakable at certain points, of course. Or is seemed to be unbreakable. Kind of like a hardening quirk. It kind of surrounds Deku, kind of like the curse or like a... think of Meliodas Assault Mode, like the demon markings. His magic is like that. Deku always has his magic on. It's just the only way you're gonna see his magic is if you actually pay attention to him, which no one really does. Because yeah. Or at least when you look at his eyes, those are kind of like the only way. So I'll give him like That still doesn't find the weapon though. I would give him a chain, but that would be outdated though. You know what? I'll give him a sentient flippin' magic. Why not? If Betty Nor can have it, so can this dude. The only difference is that this man's sentient being is a snake. A magic snake. So yeah. Kind of like think of a stand. Yeah, a JoJo stand. That's practically what Deku's magic is. He kind of only uses it when people, or people have bad intentions and look directly in his eyes. So yeah. Or technically eye, since his other eye is covered by bandages. So yeah. Come on, Eri, let's go. Eat though. As he whispers. As this red, entity forms from Deku, kind of exits Deku's back, or he kind of like not experts. Kind of stretches around the environment. Magic aura would stretch around the environment and kind of shape itself into a snake, eating, the villains or thugs, as I would see this. Good. Let's go. As the snake would go back into, his, I guess, cloak, I'm gonna call it. Happy Eri now, her little or big brother technically, would, just be walking. Aizawa would, eventually... He saw what the person did, so he tried to use his quirk, try to go down, use his quirk. But before he went down, he noticed that when he used his quirk, it didn't shut off Midoriya's quote-unquote quirk, Aizawa thinks. And as soon as Aizawa looked in direction or looked directly at Izuku, Snake was like, "You looking at something, bud?" Kind of like, he just turned his head, kind of like a side glance, like, "Yeah, I see you. Now we locked eyes. Go away, or I'll kill you." Kind of death way. Just felt bloodlust in his direction because he didn't really want to kill him. He just wanted, to go away. kind of like fuck off vibe. He kind of gave off.
Next up, what would happen is that Midoriya or Eri would try and, explain the, importance of a job. There's these things called jobs, which you get money by doing them. Huh. Interesting. Eri in this timeline is a lot more smart. Is a bit smarter than her counterpart. Due to Deku stealing a lot of books from the library and giving them to her. He doesn't care for knowledge, honestly. I mean, he would analyze you if, you're a threat or anything like that, or just analyze some, regional things. Not regional, but, some hero things here and there, but he doesn't, full on just study stuff. He'll analyze it, just a quick gist, and just there. I don't need any more information than that. I already got the gist. So yeah. He works fast, you can say. Very fast. What's next? As I'll say, Aizawa would, go to UA. Or not technically UA, but, Aizawa would notice something about Eri. Why does she look so... As you know, he would go to Night Eye's agency looking through stuff. Why does that little girl look so familiar? As you know, I'll say, Aizawa was also on, Night Eye, I guess, Night Eye's search team. Or spies, or whatever you want to say. Just, informational team on, Eri. Ah, here we go. As you know, he finds some things, but a lot of it just says her name and quirk unknown, activities in the Yakuza, or technically because it's not updated out of the Yakuza technically, but it says occupation Yakuza, guardian. I believe it would be Chisaki K Chisaki. It would say on there, but we all know that he's not a guardian at all. He's like the opposite of a guardian. So yeah. I'm bored. Anyways, I'll just continue. Next morning. What would happen is that people or heroes, side heroes, night heroes, would be assigned to find this girl around this part of the city. Of course, due to the amount of luck that Deku has of not being found, he would be seen, but it would more of lines kind of be like a now you see me, now you don't kind of vibe, or kind of way. Bum ba-da-dum, bum bum ba-da-dum, bum 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 ba-da-dum. Anyways, yeah. What would happen next is Deku would feel aura. Or, I'll say he's in some type of vicinity. Or like the town square. He's walking around, getting food for, Eri. I don't... I'll say he has like a bounty hunter job. Or like a bounty. So yeah. He kind of, brings Eri reasoning. He kind of, goes on the side of the wall. So Eri doesn't look and, kind of just kill him right there from then. He doesn't see work as, importance. He only sees money as important. So, he does, eventually cross upon a bar. With, specific villains. Nothing big,
I saw a bounty for about $10,000. Is it still open?
Oh, yes, it is still open. Would you like to take the bounty? Kodagiri would say.
Yes, very much. What's a bounty? Nothing, Eri. He would smile and, give a little laugh. Nothing, Eri. Ensuring her that everything's fine. 3 days later, dead body. So, any other bounties you want me to deal with? He was on the other side of the city, you would say. Very annoying. He kept on trying to run, so I had to use some unsplendid methods, you would say. He cut off both of the dude's feet and then kind of threw the feet at him to make him fall down. So let's say the dude had some type of spider quirk. Cut off his feet, throw it at him. Dude used webs. This man, just like Snake, get him. Snake just gobbles a spider up and, kind of chews it out or spits it out or spits the head out and, showing Kodagiri as, Aries, like, outside right now. There you go. Deku has about 20 grand right now. This should be good for the month or year. Okay, let's go. Eri, you there? Eri, you there? Yes, I'm here. Let's go. Only if she knew. As, people would also notice that, a lot of murders have been happening because, Deku on that, bounty hunter. Don't matter, you cop, hero, villain, flippin' hero organizer. What was it called? He had to hunt down one of the, what was it called? Hero executive officers? What was it? The ones that were the boss of Lady Nagant, I believe. Yeah, those. He had to hunt, like, one of them down. I'll say, like, the 5th in charge. Wiped him out. Man, it was just... He got caught lacking eating in, like, public. This man, Deku, was like, I'm gonna sit next to this, wall. Eri gonna be on the other side, making sure she don't know about anything. Snatch, eat, dead. Just like that. Raw daylight, too. That's his motto. He just goes behind walls and kind of, has Snake just eat him. Eat his targets and then, spit the head out later for proof. Kodagiri, Shigaraki and all for one to be... Would you like to join? No. Like, Deku was like, no. I'm not a bad person. I only need money. And those who do terrible deeds shall be punished. Corrupted heroes and whatnot. Also, it's more lines of, like, corrupted heroes or, like, corrupted officials. More lines. Deku right now has an apartment right now on, like, the edge of Japan. Or, like, all the way downtown. Like, deep downtown, though. So, practically, him and Eri are just living, good lives. Eri's able to eat anything she wants. Deku's happy for her, and, practically protects her like a brother. Raising her, Deku is about, what, Deku was like 15? So, a year passes, yeah. All that happened in, like, a year. This man got, like, 50 confirmed kills in, like, a span of a year. Like, bruh. Trust me. And that was like in the beginning. That was in the beginning of the year. 50 confirmed deaths or kills. Way more to come. Now we go to, the Night Group or Nightshade. Why not? I'll call them Nightshade. They will be formed of Aizawa, Night Eye, Midnight, just night heroes in general. Yeah, I was gonna say just a couple, like not a lot, just like a couple groups. So I'll say maybe, nah. Yeah, I'll say Snipes. Yeah, I'll say Snipes, Aizawa, Midnight, Night Eye, Mirio. And that's about all. That's what the group's formed of. What's next is right when, one of the days, Anri wanted, Deku to be a hero. Because, she saw heroes as cool. She does know of what Deku does, when he's not doing his bounties. Being a vigilante, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's not really vigilante. They, Deku and Eri do like to walk around a lot. They're not really house people. So, they kind of walk every day. They're not, like, 70, like, 80, 90% chance they're not even in their own house. Or, technically, apartment. Deku's either fighting crime, like, obliterating villains, hashtag killing them, or, just... Oh, by the way, he doesn't just kill villains either. He kills villains and corrupted, heroes. So, like the hero killer Stain, but worse. Or technically better. Would it be technically count as better or worse? I guess technically better than Stain, since it's not just killing false heroes, but, corrupted heroes, but also villains. But the only difference between Deku's killings and Stain's killings is that Stain kills, people he sees as unworthy. Deku, actually gets information, if, they have a bad background. Like, if they abuse their power, practically. People who are actually, abusing their power as a hero. Or, corrupted people, as I said. People who work with villains. Heroes that work with villains and whatnot. To, get more clout. Practically. People who are actually, evil. Instead of, Deku or Stain killing, false or fake. Or what he sees as, bias. Fake heroes, he would say. Stain wouldn't be a thing until, like, the beginning. No, not the... yeah, I mean, he's still technically in, My Hero Vigilance. Nah, because, Mirko was a student, so no, that'd be a couple of years from now. But Stain, I'll say Stain will still be a vigilante until... until, like, maybe the first or during the beginning of UA. Or technically entry. Nah, UA. Yeah, UA. The beginning of UA is technically the entrance exam, so yeah. After convincing, her bigger brother to, take the hero course, he would, eventually... She did puppy eyes, eventually Deku did have to, he applied for UA. They, UA did look at his background, nothing on him. No name, no certificate, no nothing, just a shadow. They don't know anything about this dude, and he just applied. So, they sent a letter back, it's like, okay, we'll meet you in, the entrance exam. We'll talk about it, in the entrance exam if you, make it. Deku's a shadow, practically. No name, no registration, no nothing. He doesn't even have a picture of himself. He kind of just sent a letter and like, okay, there you go. No initials. All it says is just Snake. Like, that's all it says. Like, just some writing and then, just Snake. That's his initials. He just puts Snake. That's all. And they're positive it's an alias as well. Which technically yes, but no. Nah, he wouldn't put Snake, because that'd be like his vigilante name, so I'll say... Ooh, his name would be Snake as a hero, and Viper would be his, vigilante name. So yeah, he'll put Snake down. I'm back. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, joining UA. After doing Puppy Dog Eyes for about 30 minutes... Snake eventually got into the pressure and, practically
sent an invitation of UA. And not getting recommendations, but joining the entrance exam. After joining the entrance exam, Deku or Snake would be forced to have Eri, or have her by his side. People wouldn't say anything until Ida pops up. Immediately, as soon as Ida popped up, practically Izuku or Snake would just bloodlust just everywhere. Just practically just instant bloodlust. Ida would stop dead in his tracks and just be terrified of Deku. And after that, no one really questioned Deku's, why he has a child with him. So yeah. Eventually, people or other heroes, not heroes, but in the preserving room, or the room where they have everything to see, people would notice Deku's here, or at least notice that the specific girl that Aizawa saw earlier was there. It was very dark, so Deku had his hood on, so the only thing Aizawa saw was Snake's eyes, or Midoriya's eyes. And practically, as continued, Aizawa would notice this child with Izuku, or technically with this random person. People would notice that, Aizawa would easily notice that this child was Eri immediately off the bat. Knowing this, Aizawa, Nezu wouldn't say anything. Or at least Aizawa wouldn't say anything until, they knew more about, this kid, practically. And after everything, President Mike, Bakugo, he wouldn't sit next to Bakugo. He was sitting, probably on the floor somewhere. And as President Mike would announce the entrance exam and explain the 0-pointers, 1-pointer, 2-pointers, 3-pointers, and eventually say that the 0-pointer, is just practically an obstacle and you should run away from it. At this time, Deku or Snake wouldn't really care because it's a 0-pointer. It's not gonna get in the way. As like Eri and Deku would, going 100% or 3% one for all, Deku would have Eri on his back. A lot of people will question this in silence, but not directly confront Deku about it. Kind of having Eri as like a book bag. As now the entrance exam happens. By the way, there were heroes that, did try to talk about it. It was like, hey, why do you have a child on your back? Instant bloodlust. Like, bro, don't question my authority. Like, practically, kind of like fuck off energy. So, yes. Deku, using Snake, his technical sentient magic, you would say, destroy pointers, just immediately. This man would use Snake to kind of launch like a practically not a sniper, but a slingshot, and just destroy pointers on pointers. Eri wouldn't really be scared because she's with Deku. She knows nothing is gonna happen as long as Deku's there. Deku would be just not disintegrate, but destroying robots here and there. He wouldn't be using Snake. The only time he used Snake, and it's not even form of Snake, it's just form of just aura, kind of brought him back and then slingshot. Deku would now destroy about 6 2-pointers, 20 3-pointers, and like 3 1-pointers, and eventually keep on racking up in the ranks, and eventually, getting a decent amount, honestly, until that certain day
Help! I need help. As you know, the person with the floating quirk asks for help. Don't know why she got in that predicament. Her quirk is literally gravity. She could have used her quirk to get the boulder off of her. Like, what is the quirk inside your legs? No. Like, sorry, it's just getting on my nerves. Anyways, Deku would just walk away. As you know, Eri would like, hey, you should go help them. No, my only way, my only objective is to keep you safe and to become a hero. That's all. I don't care for anyone else. But you have to save people to become a hero. I hate you when you make flippant sense. Hate you when you make perfect sense. Okay, let's turn around. Right as Zero Pointer was about to crush Uraka, Deku was like, "Nyeh." Everyone just started like a charge, like a plasma charge. And a giant blast of energy just came out of nowhere and just made a giant hole in the Zero Pointer. And eventually having the Zero Pointer explode on itself. And that was the entrance exam. Hopefully you all liked it. Comment down below. And leave a like.